Previously in X-Men, we've been standing at the precipice, at the edge of a cliff for many times, for many months, getting ready to dive into the infamous Dark Phoenix Saga. I say infamous because Dark Phoenix is dark, so she gets the infamous. And last week, we took one more step just off, and this week we're fully diving off the precipice. The X-Men, the series is in full flight. They've taken on the mantle of the Uncanny X-Men. The full team is back together. Everyone is performing at their peak. New members joining. Byrne is at his best. Terry Austin at his side. Chris Claremont is weaving the web of language together so beautifully that there's nothing much we can do to do justice to that. And we are today tackling Uncanny X-Men issue 132 from 1980. It's very, very exciting stuff. It's a classic issue. I'm so stoked that my tongue is tied. But in the end, it's okay. Because I'm Jason Lapidus.
I'm Chris Sanagan.
And we are a group of 7 comics. And we make comics. And we love making comics. And we love talking about comics. And we've been doing a deep dive into the X-Men series for the last 41 weeks. Oh, my goodness. We've been doing a deep dive into X-Men for the last 41 weeks to explore the heart of what makes team comic books so good and team superhero books so good. We've been making a team comic book for the last 5 or 6 years, and why not go study and dissect and analyze one of the best that's ever been done. So we picked a spot where we're looking at X-Men comics that pretty much inform the franchise from that point going forward. There is not in my mind a version of X-Men that has been created since this run that does not owe a major debt of gratitude to the pieces put together and the execution by the gentleman who made this book. So we're looking at the pieces, looking at how it all goes together, and seeing if we can connect it to things that happen in the rest of the amazing top-selling run of the rest of the 1980s and all the multiple spin-offs like the New Mutants, X-Factor, Excalibur, X-Force, continue, as well as the generational cartoon in the 90s, the video game in the 90s, which a lot of us played at places like Canada's Wonderland was my favorite place to play that video game. And, of course, the first superhero film franchise of a team in the 2000s from Fox Films, or Fox Studios, as they're now known, which are owned by Disney, which leads to things like the Avengers, and of course the future now of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the unnamed year, which we don't know when it's coming, but eventually the mutants are coming. So it all comes from here. It all comes from this run, and I'm super excited. Chris, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, good. Back to me.
I'm good. Yeah, that's nice. I'm good. I'm excited to take a look at this issue and the premise it sets up, because I have not read Beyond. I never read Beyond. I've never done it initially, and so I like to give myself that every week to go through as a nice little surprise. But I have a feeling I know where it's going, and certainly it's a popular part of the X-Men canon. So I'm excited. It's again, it feels like the Hellfire. I mean, we'll get into it more, but it feels like in terms of antagonists, Hellfire Club could be there. Like, I mean, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I mean, I feel like, and even going through Proteus, which was intense.
Serial killer.
Right. I feel like the Hellfire Club is the most appropriate villain for them to a degree, as well as fun. Like, it's dark, but it's also ridiculous.
Yes.
With their crafts and aristocratic leanings, which is hilarious. So it makes for great visuals. It makes for fun reading, storytelling, and reading. Doing voices. Right. I got a few voices lined up tonight for a couple of new characters we haven't met yet. I hope they go over well. And
I'm sure they will.
And it's again, it's not like, I mean, I think I want to see them rumble in New York City rather than the Savage Land. I think because I like that I like that grounding a little bit. So I'm excited. This has been a super fun issue, and of course there's so much to talk about, and then where it leads as well. So
agreed. Are there any preliminaries? This is the first appearance of a few characters, in sort of full. We've seen Jason Wingard very much in previous issues. We have seen Sebastian Shaw in the previous issue, which is a major player in X-Men from this point moving forward, including making a feature film appearance in X-Men First Class, played by Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Right?
I recently rewatched that clip at the end.
To me, my ex-friends.
Hello, Jason.
Jason Lowe, how are you?
Recently rewatched that First Class clip, the final confrontation between Sebastian Shaw and Magneto, and whoa. I'd forgotten. It
was really weird seeing a different interpretation of the character. Right. But as you and I talk a lot about the role of not necessarily a specific character in a specific film, but the role that kind of character is supposed to play for a movie. So in this case, Sebastian Shaw is there in that movie for Magneto.
Yes.
Right? To push Magneto's buttons as a character for us to get into it so that we see what Magneto's really made of. To force him to make choices that reveal who his character really is. And he does. And
you're right, Jason Lowe, that coin is... But I mean, it's the cool thing too is it's not just Sebastian Shaw and Magneto. Xavier it's a three-way in a way.
Right.
Based on and it's just anyway, it's wonderful.
But that's the point, right? As you're saying there, when you say it's a three-way, you mean that the character of Shaw in the film forces Magneto to admit to himself that he's going this way. Mm-hmm. And Xavier says, no, I'm going this way. Yeah. And Shaw is the reason both those guys express that view in that moment in the film. And so even though, he's not the version we get in the comic book, but the version in the comic book would not have been able to do what the version in the movie did. No. So they change those characters because they have a function in the movie. And the function is to reveal the truths of the protagonists.
Yeah. It's to put them on those courses, right?
Right.
They need origins, they need motivation, they need purpose. And so
right.
The character of Sebastian Shaw in that movie is a wonderful device,
right,
to demonstrate the division between those characters.
True. I think Bacon played that part well for the character that he was. Mm-hmm. Of course, it wasn't like, it's not my Sebastian Shaw. Sure, it's not the Claremont Byrne Sebastian Shaw. It never was going to be. But again, I thought he did that part well. When he's on screen, I hate him.
Of course, right? Kevin Bacon. You just wish like a tremor would come and eat him,
I've actually never seen Tremors.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, so I guess right. So
I know what it is.
Right, but similar to like your Big Troubles and stuff. This might be one of those movies that you may have passed over, but it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun.
Right. It was like a Saturday afternoon on Fox.
Yeah.
Matinee.
Yeah. With the dad from Family Ties.
Yeah. So my wife Laura, as you know, Laura, that's like Laura's scariest childhood movie.
Tremors?
Is watching Tremors with her brother when they're not supposed to be watching TV as like little kids. That's and awesome. Him going under the covers while she's like fixated on the TV and him coming up and like rumbling the blanket and then scaring her. And she, she's never forgiven him for that.
That's so
yes. I'm also going to be reading the issue today, which I do have right here. This is one of the few of these issues that I do have in person, which I love. And, I'm always shocked when I see the secondary market value these days, but I'm reading it in in Classic X-Men issue 38, which I read mostly the series, but I'm running out. I only have a few more of these left.
I've got a couple of those. I think I've got 42, 43. Like I actually checked. Yeah. I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I can read those.
I'm excited for when we're off the. I don't know how to explain it. When I no longer have them, I have to start hunting these down. But they're increasing in value too because they're now old comics.
Yeah,
even though they seem to be like they're just reprints, but they're now old reprints, so they're harder to find. There is a backup, of course, in this one, and they've stopped doing the cool backs.
Yeah,
because I guess there's money to be made with the advertisements. So there's no more like secondary cover from the backup artist, and there's just like ads all over it now. So not so much fun. But the one in this issue today is by Kyle Baker, which is really awesome on the art, and Anna Senti on the words. Are going to get past. We're not past volume 2. No. It's here. It's here. I kind of forgot to pull it off the shelf, David. But it's here. Sometimes I like to look at it in color. Even old color, it's fine with me. So, yeah, it's right there. Volume 2. And luckily, as you can see right there, there, next to Wolverine and Cyclops, I have volume 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Of the Essential X-Men.
Essential X-Men. I've got some. So like, this is volume 2. I've got 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're good for
the black and white, like the original inks, like that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We're good for years.
Good.
Yeah. What are you gonna do, man?
And hey, Trevor, nice to see you. Hello to you as well.
Oh, pardon me, I missed that one. Thank you. Hello, Trevor. How are you?
Loved your latest shot on Instagram. I think it was like I want to say it's like a skull creature. Something had like webs on it, like spider webs. No,
skull creature.
I want to say, but I was wrong. I noticed Skeletor? The webs. I was drawn to the webbing.
Was it Skeletor?
It was not the Skeletor.
There you go.
He-Man!
Okay. Let's get that there. Okay, so here we got a great cover.
We do.
Of course, from John Byrne and Terry Austin. It doesn't feature the X-Men in a favorable light. It shows us the villains right away. And Sebastian Shaw, as he loves to, walk around with no shirt.
AKA Shirtless Shaw.
Shirtless Shaw with his like, what do you call a belt worn that style?
A sash?
Well, I thought we thought a sash went around. Yeah, yes, let's call it.
It looks to me like a Voyager sash. Like Bonham wears. I mean, Trevor, I'm not sure if you know what Bonham is because coming from the States, but Canadians here will likely know who Bonham is. But he wears a sash. That's the Voyager sash.
Who is Bonham?
Who is Bonham?
Please explain.
So Bonham is, and if I get this wrong, please correct me in the chat. Bonham is in loosely translate Bonhomme, happy man, good man in French. He is also the mascot of Quebec Carnival, which is a celebration of all things winter and Quebecois in Quebec that takes place in Quebec City in January and February of each year. And he is the mascot. He's a giant snowman, basically, who wears and the Voyageur again. We get a little like there you go. Voyageur, we're talking about people who were part of the fur trade, French Canadians, Scots in the 18th century, 19th century as part of the fur trade in Canada. Anyway, he wears a sash, which they wore as well. Just like Sebastian Shaw, who will now be known as Bonham.
And this is one of the things that for us Torontonians, at least, we learned about Bonham and the festival, Carnival. Don't start the song. Nope. We learned about it.
Color nose.
There you go. In our compulsory mandatory French class in elementary school, we would learn, one of the units each year would be about Carnival. And so you'd learn all about this winter festival in Quebec. And yeah,
have you ever been, by the way?
No,
it's awesome.
I have no doubt. So the reason that I was like grinning ear to ear is not because the festival isn't great and Bonhomme isn't great and the song isn't great. None of those things. It strictly has to do with me being a little kid in French class when I'm 9 and misbehaving and thinking this is ridiculous because it wasn't presented in a sincere way. It was presented as this, we're going to put in this much, this percent of Francophone education into you. Whether you understand the context or not. I would love to go, actually. But the whole song, yeah.
I'm going to say ice slides, man. Ice slides.
Oh, yeah. So, the word from Cajun, that's very possible, right? As Cajun's roots are partially...
the expulsion of the Acadians from New Brunswick. And
you speak Cajun, Trevor? That's awesome. I did not know that. Mon frere.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, who's the Cajun? Is there a Cajun G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
And that name is?
Are you asking me or the chat?
Yeah.
There are a ton of characters from every accent region
From the swamp area.
state. I would say the one that comes to mind for me, and I'm going to be wrong. Like, you put me on the spot, and I'm going to come up with the wrong one. Famously, Gung Ho is Cajun.
Oh, does he? I guess I'm trying to think he's played. No,
he doesn't have a strong Cajun accent, but in the comics, he'll throw a French term once in a while.
All right.
And when Snake Eyes is in the hospital, he brings Snake Eyes gumbo.
Okay. All right.
So there you go. Jason's backing me up.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, Gung Ho is like the most predominant Cajun in the series. I wouldn't be surprised if Cross Country is from Louisiana too. But someone else will have to look that one up. And also, there are different iterations. Like the voice they do on the TV show is not necessarily the character's origin in the file cards for the comic that Larry Hama wrote. You never know. You never know. So Trevor knows his Cajun just from Gambit, who we'll get to in another 100 issues.
Come back in 2.5 years.
Well, like
debut of Gambit.
130 almost. Anyway. Whew. So yeah, but now I want to go to Quebec. Here we go. Beautiful.
So Bonhomme has defeated the X-Men.
And you get the idea that we're going to face these characters, and Jason Wingard we've seen already, and I think it's kind of a funny thing having like the colors here are different than how the characters all end up. Like Leland is the redhead, and Pierce is blonde.
No, Pierce is the redhead.
I think Pierce is blonde, but again, I might be wrong. It is a great cut
in the issue.
Right.
But that is Pierce in the far left.
On the left.
Yeah. Leland's the older one.
Leland is Orson Welles.
Yeah.
I said that like he's partially.
Leland is Unicron. And
yes. Yeah. So Jason Lowe, where is Cross Country from? If you're going to say he's not from Louisiana, you got to say where he is from, and you can look that up. And I don't doubt you. I just want to know more. Anyway,
I agree with you, Trevor. Great cover.
It is a great cover.
They're evil aside from defeating the X-Men because they all have goblets in their hands,
And also because they put the X-Men in a pile.
Right. I mean, Wingard's even sitting on a desk. He doesn't care.
That's right.
He's like kicking his feet. Whee!
And he's got Colossus between the legs. Like he's got one foot on either side of Colossus's head, which means he's really comfortable with that. These guys are down and out.
Super comfortable.
Yeah. North Carolina. Darn it. Get good. I'm glad you schooled me on something. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's get into this issue.
Let's do it.
And we're going to stop the momentum almost right away to talk about action figures the second there you go. So, hey, Marvel Legends guys, this is a character I absolutely need in my Marvel Legends collection.
Workout Angel?
80s workout Warren Worthington III. Please remind me, what was the name of that fitness show?
Body Break with Hal Jordan. No, Hal McLeod, Joanne McLeod?
Not Body Break, but the one, maybe you're too young.
There's another one that's not Body Break?
There was one that was more 80s in that it was like 3 women working out in unison.
Okay.
And 20-minute workout. You ever seen 20-minute workout?
No. Body Break for me is where it's at.
I don't even know what to say here. Okay, firstly, Trevor says pirate boots were very popular in the 1970s, apparently. Yes, agreed. HELLFIRE CLUB are done playing with their toys and have no intention of cleaning up yet. Throw it in a pot.
Bastards. Let's get physical.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.O.N.J. Nice.
Yeah, that's a excellent. That is what he was listening to when he was working out, for sure.
I heard that in the radio when I was in the radio and I was with the kids on the way to day camp when they announced that this morning, I guess. Yeah, or yesterday morning, and I was like, man, I gotta show the kids Grease.
Sure. Yeah, I think my kids have seen it, or at least Olivia has.
Grease is awesome.
Right. My daughter's name is Olivia, not named after Olivia Newton-John, but named after maybe Olivia Munn. Let's pretend. But anyway. So, Jason, our brains, we're referring to me, Jason, or Jason Lowe?
No, I think you're talking about how they both said Olivia Newton-John, R.I.P.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, you are like Tomax and Zaymot. That's perfect.
Who are Tomax and Zaymot?
Okay, Tomax, we're really derailed in a great way. Tomax and Zaymot are the evil twins, the Crimson Twins, as they were known. They were circus twins in the G.I. Joe line from Hasbro and the cartoon and the comics. They were mirror image of each other.
Like the one you could punch and the other one would feel it?
100%, you are right.
I thought they were called Zartan. No.
Zartan is the chameleon one, and he is like 1 year before.
Okay. So the two brothers, and they had that weird, and the one of the scar, maybe?
That's the only way you could tell them apart, unless you couldn't.
And their names are Tomax and Zaymot? I thought it was.
Their names are palindromes of each other.
Right.
No, sorry. The palindrome is when it's forward and backward the same word. In this case, they are just
mirrored.
Each other's names. Yeah, they're mirror names. Yes, it's previously in G.I. Joe. I know, man. I can deep dive. I'm sorry. Sometimes people get me on a tangent, and it's been on my brain ever since Toying Around's amazing unboxing Thursday episode. And I was just, I won a draw on the show. And I'm just gonna say on that episode, I was the biggest G.I. Joe fan there. I'm just gonna say, hands down, he was giving away the Pyramid of Darkness San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set, featuring 3 Cobra guards, a Cobra robot, Snake Eyes and Shipwreck and Timber in their Cobra disguise. From the episode where they go into basically the Cobra subway system and have to go work in the factory. It was really, really niche. It's a really deep dive. So Jason's like, yes, Jason, I won it. It's unbelievable. Speak of the devil. Hello there, Kevin. How are you? So there was a draw, and I'm pretty convinced it was fixed. Kevin says, no, not at all. It wasn't fixed. It was just random. But I will say, for anyone who's like upset that I got it, given that I know Kevin, it really could not have gone to a bigger Joe fan. I videotaped Pyramid of Darkness as a kid off TV and watched that 5-parter over and over. I know that thing line for line. And
3 minutes each, Trevor. 3
so,
minutes.
So this is going to help us. I wish you had tuned in as well, Jason. It was a lot of fun. And the set is gorgeous. And Kevin, I will send you the photos and the video that I took. So the 20-minute workout, you asked before what that was, because we're talking about the headband.
We're talking about
20-minute workout was a workout television show with no narration. It was basically 3 women in fluorescent spandex.
Yeah. I mean, I can certainly picture
doing aerobics and stretches to a beat for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was very erotic.
Amazing.
And, even if it's on in 1983 and you're 8 years old, it's
giving you feelings.
It impacted the physiology of the viewer distinctly, and you can go on YouTube right now and watch episodes because it's very memorable. And there's certain phrases that, like, the woman would lead you through these workouts, and to the beat would be like, and 2 more, and 1 more. Like, it was hypnotic and erotic. And Warren was just watching it, and that's when he
Angel should have been part of it based on this design.
Trevor says I watched 20-minute workout every morning for like 3 minutes. Yeah.
That's all he needed.
I felt like I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I couldn't help but watch it. Oh, it was Kiana. Was that what it was called? Kiana Tom's Flex Appeal? It was like that totally, but it wasn't shot outdoors. It was shot in like a white studio where there was no background and all the levels were maxed out. So it was high contrast, high saturation. But yeah, Kiana's sex appeal. Kiana's Flex Appeal was also erotic for a lot of viewers. Very funny stuff. So Warren is coming in just like
coming in hot,
which is crazy. All right, I definitely want an Angel action figure, by the way, for Marvel Legends, like for real, in the costume, not in his workout gear. It's missing from my collection in a big way. That's the bottom line, right, guys? We need a classic Angel in Legends, and I love that he's here. That we've had time with Beast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and now we're getting Angel back into the book, and I think that's awesome. So, And Hellfire is their name. By the regular crew, Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Terry Austin, Tom Orzakowski on letters, and Glennis Sween on colors. Oh my goodness. What? They'll never make the angel I want. Blue costume with the halo, blue skin, blonde hair, metal wings. Well, here's the good news, man. You can get that one by mixing them up, right? So if they give us the blue costume, then you can put the blue skin, blonde hair, and the metal wings from your Archangel onto it, right? If they make them compatible, which I really hope they will. Keep asking Ryan and Dan, for sure. There you go. See, David, we'll figure this one out. Also, you can make a custom. It's not too hard. Get a eel as the body to use for that one. What if it gets revealed tomorrow on the Hasbro live stream? So, just to plug Kevin's show, tomorrow night, Kevin is doing a Dope or Nope at 9 o'clock on his YouTube channel and Toying Around. I'm going on as a guest. So if they reveal that tomorrow, guys, then I owe you a Coke. So anyone who's here now, all 6 of us, next time you see me, hit me up for a beautiful Coke.
Nice.
It would be fantastic. There you go. In New Mexico, along the Continental Divide, like who starts a comic like that?
Chris Claremont.
Who talks about plate tectonics, right? Like what a scale this is on already. In New Mexico, along the Continental Divide, literally miles from anywhere, stands a very special house owned by a very special young man.
Scotty, long time no see, old buddy. Welcome to Angels Airy, X-Men my home away from home.
He was christened Warren Worthington III, heir apparent to one of America's largest private fortunes. In later years, he became somewhat better known as the High-Flying Angel, one of the founding members of the Uncanny X-Men.
Fun fact.
Oh my gosh.
Fun fact. I looked at the word airy, and it is a large nest of a bird of prey, usually an eagle.
That's cool.
I think that's cool.
Did they not also use that term in Game of Thrones? For those of you who were in the chat who watched it, I know, Chris, you didn't watch it yet. Do you remember there was all the names have left me, but Lady Stark's sister lived in a place that was high up, and it made me think that it also was thought of as like a nest when I hear that term. So when this scene, it actually evokes a musical theme for me. Angel was on the episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which is the first place I ever saw or heard of the X-Men, where they go back. It's the episode of Fire Stars. Let's call her Farstar. Yes, in Game of Thrones, House Aaron. In the episode of Firestar's origin, they go back to the X-Men mansion, and everyone gets to meet other characters. And when Angel appears, there's this like theme song, this really, I don't know, like a triumphant little horn play, like a little melody that comes on. That is as he like swoops in, and it was just perfect for the character, like it's regal. And as he lands. So when I see this, I hear that theme, and it makes me so happy to see him. Like, oh, he's so positive. Everything's going to be okay. Here comes Warren Worthington III.
Hey, fun fact part 2. In our comics, Peregrines, a peregrine's nest is called a scrape. And so we named our team the Peregrines. Their base is called the Scrape. There you go.
Right.
Fun facts.
So would you say that these words are the same word, just spelled differently?
Irie could be pronounced the same way. Yeah.
Well, we know with Game of Thrones, he plays with spelling and things, but in pronunciation, but the word root would be the same. Why would they have people living up in a huge tower way up high in the mountains that has like a drop and use the same word, just spell differently and think we're not? I mean, they're the same. Come on. Yeah, just spell it.
There you go.
Tomato, tomato. All right.
All right, here we go.
He's seen little of the X-Men since he left the team. He hardly knows Nightcrawler, Storm, Colossus, and Wolverine, the mutants who replaced him. Yet these young people and their mentor, Professor Charles Xavier, are closer and more important to him than his own family. I would have liked to have done a little bit of more research just before this to see what teams he has been on since he left. I know he's in, of course, the Defenders for a bit.
Okay.
And the Champions. But I don't remember if it's already been published or not. But he doesn't leave Marvel Comics collection of heroes. He gets on some other teams. So there you go. Isn't George R.R. Martin from New Jersey? Kev says. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. The Defenders. Yeah, for sure. Looking at Trevor to confirm. Okay, about the jersey. Sure. Thanks for taking us in, Warren, especially on such short notice.
My pleasure. Besides, it's good to see you again. Make yourselves comfortable, group. My home is yours. It is a beautiful home, Angel, and beautiful country.
Colossus. These hills ain't nothing compared to the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies. Now that's beautiful country.
Canada reference. Take a shot.
You're looking good, Blondie.
Oh, you're not so bad yourself, Red. We keep this up, Gene, and we're liable to make Scott jealous.
I'm surprised that happens.
This is a crazy bonkers intro kiss. This is what the heck? Does anybody on this chat in this show know anyone who greets old friends this way? Please,
yeah.
if you do, I'd love to know.
Yes, I have an old friend named Danielle Sanagan.
Nice. Nice.
I think it's great. I think it's very funny.
All of it suggests that they are like all the body language, holding the chin, the arm, the hand, like all that is like their lovers. Right?
Yes. Really sets up the theme of Cyclops getting cucked.
Yeah, he just takes it. Cyclops this whole up until now just watches other people kiss Jean.
That's true. And of course, it's sort of I don't know what the word would be for this, but Jean was written as the object of affection for all of the X-Men, including Professor X, back in the early issues, with the exception of Iceman.
Of course.
Who was supposed to be, he was being written as too young. So he wouldn't be interested in girls.
Too young, also into guys.
Well, that wasn't in the.
I know, but it is. I think I'm too young for any of that. Also into guys.
But Professor X would pine for her too.
Oh, really?
She was his student. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Either way, so Warren being attracted to her
for sure.
Yeah, it's the whole part. Yeah, keep it up, Wings. And Scott is the least of your worries.
X-Men, meet Candy Southern. She has a ridiculous name, and she and I are what People magazine call an item.
Hi.
Okay, Scott, what brings you to this neck of the woods? You sounded pretty serious on the phone.
Yeah, they've come in uniform. They've come ready for a fight, I don't mean to be rude, Warren, but can we talk somewhere private?
Privacy you want, privacy you got.
What the? Warren? If anyone's hungry, we have lunch fixings in the house. Inside the house. Professor?
Thank you, Miss Southern. Go with her, X-Men. I'll be along directly. First, Scott disobeyed my instructions by bringing the X-Men here instead of to our New York headquarters. And now he flies off with that swinger angel without even a word of explanation. I do not understand why he is behaving so strangely. I do not like it.
Couple things.
Sure.
One, Professor X's head. So inking that for Terry Austin to nail that in, I don't know how many brush strokes, maybe 2. I'm looking at it here. It looks like there is a tiny bit of a break in the flow. But that is a really hard thing to do. I know Ed Piskor talks a lot about the challenge of trying to do that, of having that one smooth stroke, and then you usually have to apply quite a bit of white media, whiteout to get that line to be a nice curve. And you can't really use a template because it's not a circle. Like the skull isn't a perfect circle, so it's really hard to do. And with all those peregrine heads that I've been drawing, like you have to get that arc in there, and it's really challenging to get like the nib of the brush to do the thickness that you want, and have it obey and not like flick out as you take the turn too tight. For those of you who ink with a brush, you know what I mean. But I imagine every single time someone does a head like this, or Iron Man, or someone else like that, you have to go back in and do some white media to fix those little edges. But this one looks beautiful. There you go. Anyway.
There you go.
Yeah. I like Candy Southern.
Candy Southern.
Yeah. She likes it down south. I'm sorry. I think she's a good character.
Best part is she's going to stick around. That's the best part.
Wings beating strongly through the air. Through the still afternoon air, covering a half dozen miles in twice as many minutes. Angel effortlessly carries Cyclops out across the desert. That's a beautiful drawing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Of those rocks. It's excellent. Warren, is this trip really necessary?
Can't get more prouder than this, Scott. No one listening at the keyhole, no one even in sight, and no hidden microphones. After all, who's going to bug a butte?
Is a butte the name of?
Is that Butte, Montana?
Rock formations?
Right, because isn't Butte, Montana? Is that what? Am I wrong? Is that what that is?
Well, I mean, you want to look it up and see if that's what you call those.
I didn't call it Butty.
Formations.
Butte is a city in Montana, so it's right
Right.
there. Here we go. An isolated hill with steep sides and a flat top. It's similar to, but it's narrower than a mesa. Fun fact 3.
Nice. Well, we learned a lot today.
We did. We learned lots so
and
much.
That was previously an X-Men and geology.
We're alone, Scott. What's on your mind?
Someone's after the X-Men.
So what else is new? Someone's always after the X-Men.
This is different. Last week, our mutant detecting computer, Cerebro,
remember that
picked up. What's that?
You know how they introduce, right? Our mutant detecting computer, Cerebro. Remember Angel, Cerebro? Oh, right.
Exactly. And this is the same thing that Professor X did in the previous page or the previous panels. Having that whole little explanation, giving those readers a chance to catch up. Last week, our mutant detecting computer, Cerebro, because you don't know the name, picked up 2 new contacts. Professor X took Storm, Colossus, and Wolverine with him to check out the one in Chicago. There, they were attacked and captured by a foe who knew everything about their powers and how to defeat them. She was a telepath who called herself the White Queen. In the confusion, the Chicago Neo-Mutant, a teenager named Kitty Pryde, managed to slip away long enough to call the rest of us in New York for help. Unfortunately, her warning came just as Nightcrawler, Jean, and I, and our Neo-Mutant, a disco singer called Dazzler, were being ambushed ourselves. If it hadn't been for Dazzler, we'd been captured too. This is the most unnatural way for him to tell one of his oldest friends what's happened to him lately. But obviously, it is for the reader. We headed for Chicago, and with Kitty and Dazzler's aid, rescued the others. Jean, Phoenix, fought the White Queen in a psychic duel. I wanted the woman taken alive for questioning, but in the end, she preferred suicide to capture.
So they think she's dead.
They believe she is dead.
I believe she's dead.
Phoenix mind scanned a guard, and we learned that the White Queen belonged to a group of industrialists out to rule the world. They see mutant kind and the X-Men as a means to achieving that goal. They call themselves the HELLFIRE CLUB.
Are you sure? I'm a member of the HELLFIRE Club, and so is Candy. I inherited that membership along with Worthington Industries when my folks passed away. It's an old, very stuffy, yet risque establishment club, and Candy and I even visited it once. Before I told the world I was the Angel, we didn't like it. We never went back. Whatever your White Queen learned of the X-Men wasn't from me.
There has to be a leak somewhere, Warren. These people knew our powers, our plans, the way we fight, the way we think. That's why I brought the X-Men here instead of home. Partially to throw our foes off. Balance and buy us some breathing space. Partially because I don't think the mansion's safe anymore. And if that wasn't enough to worry about, something odd has been happening to Jean lately.
Someone mentioned my name.
That's fair enough.
Oh,
You fellas
have been talking for hours. Time for a break. What? Jean?
Nice entrance, Red. All of a sudden, I had a feeling I'm not wanted.
Perceptive lad. You'll go far.
I aim to, Jeannie. We'll finish our talk later, Scott. Be seeing you.
Does nobody think about how hard it's going to be to rule the world? Okay, what are we talking about? I got lost. Okay, we'll figure it out. Sorry, Trevor. I don't know what I should focus on this. Sure thing, Warren. Running a multi-million-dollar business has been good for Angel. He's lost none of his fire, his passion, but he's steadier inside, a lot more sure of himself. He's all grown up.
We've all grown up, Scott.
She did it again. Changed from costume to street clothes by telekinetically rearranging the molecules of her outfit. Why do I find that so disconcerting? Why shouldn't Jean use her psi powers to make her life easier?
You're brooding.
And it's what I do best. And I've got a lot on my mind.
Didn't you hear me? It's time for a break. Stop being Cyclops, leader of the X-Men for a while. Try being Scott Summers, lover of Jean Grey. Who knows? You might even enjoy yourself.
Jean, no! What are you doing? Put my visor down. If I open my eyes, even fractionally, without the visor's ruby quartz shield to contain my optic blasts.
Open your eyes, Scott. Nothing will happen. I'm telekinetically keeping your optic blasts in check. I wanted to see your face, that's all. You have a good face. You have a good face. Sorry.
I don't believe
it's
it.
Like something Cyclops. You have a good face.
I don't believe it. My eyes. How can Jean hold back all that power? Jean.
Hush. No questions now, my love. No words. This is a sexy issue, by the way.
This is, and I have to admit, this left an impression on me as a kid for sure. Like the idea of them having this version of intimacy.
Coitus on top of a butte.
It wasn't the coitus, but thank you. No, it was just like him being so vulnerable and worrying about hurting her. Right. And them being alone in like such a profound kind of way. It feels to me like it's like their last time kind of alone before the storm. I don't mean before they have a threesome with Storm. I mean,
or with Angel. We've already been there.
Yes, the huge shitstorm that is coming upon them from the Dark Phoenix Saga. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Say it in a Borat voice. You have a good face.
You have a good face.
Kevin's the one who loves doing Borat voices for just about everything. Banging on
the Butte is the name of this issue.
I'd love to come across like the archaeologist, centuries later, who they find this site at the top of the butte, and they find the remnants, like a few objects that suggest, and they see patterns and fossilized patterns in the rock as suggesting what happened there. Oh, so she says before, no words.
And she says, this is our moment. Let's not waste it. And a week passes, so it takes a week.
They bang for a week.
They bang on the butte for a week.
Yes.
Amazing.
Our scene shifts.
I have way more respect for Cyclops now. Originally, I was like, nope. But now I'm just like,
see, this is so Claremont. He's having so much fun with just laying down some language here. Eastward 2,000 miles from the New Mexico desert to the man-made canyons of Manhattan. On 5th Avenue, 4 blocks downtown from Avengers Mansion. Shout-outs. New York's legendary, HELLFIRE Club is celebrating its latest birthday with one of the most exclusive parties the Big Apple has ever seen. The guest list includes some of the richest, most powerful men and women in the world. People whose wealth outstrips that of many countries. All are looking forward to a pleasant, entertaining evening. Meanwhile, in a storm sewer roughly 20 feet below the street, a pair of would-be gate crashers are making their way toward the club. My dog is scratching at the door. Poor little
I
guy.
love the Wolverine Nightcrawler team up, by the way.
Me too. Do you mind if I let my dog in?
Please let your dog in.
Okay, hold on. Clyde, you coming in? Come on in. All right. Just you have to be quiet, though, okay? Nice to see you. You gonna sit? You looking for someone to rip up? Someone to chew? Oh, good boy. All right, there you go. He just needed a place to crash. He just wants to be near me because everyone else is doing something else. No, I love them as a team as well, like that sort of the stealth group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going on those scout missions, and they have a neat dynamic. And I always found that Nightcrawler, for the most part, isn't like offended by Wolverine being Wolverine.
Right.
Like Scott is so quick to take everything as an insult and as an affront. But you know, Storm puts him in his place when she wants to. Colossus, I don't know, doesn't seem to take it personally either.
But I think Nightcrawler understands a bit of the comedy under him too, like his sense of humor.
Right, he provokes him a little bit in fun ways.
Yeah, and he balances him out. Right, it's the gruff one with the happy one.
Right. The other one who's the most demon looking is actually like the most cheerful of them all.
Right.
Just on a Marvel Legends note. So my dog has been in the room with us, in the room with me in my studio a lot more in the last 2 weeks, as we're shorthanded in the house. My son's been away, and training the dog to be more acclimated to not chewing things, and he's been training and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so he's been up here a lot with me lately, just sleeping on the floor nearby. The other day he jumped up and snagged Wolverine, the Marvel Legends figure, off the corner of my table.
Oh.
It's the one from the Hulk Wolverine 2-pack.
Okay.
First appearance 2-pack. And he grabbed it with his mouth and he dented it up real good with his teeth. So, yeah, that figure is... The
Wolverine survived and came back stronger.
Wolverine survived. That figure is never getting sold now. It's got teeth marks in it.
Barely chewed.
Yes. Scott is an insecure boy. Yeah, they do write him that way, right? That's just part of the fun of it. Water's rising, Nightcrawler. We got much farther to go?
My scanner says we're almost there, Wolverine. These power and communication cables all service the HELLFIRE Club. The place uses as much electricity as a skyscraper. I wonder why.
Beats me, Elf. But these cables give me an idea that one day we should name a character Cable.
Nice.
After these cables.
After these words I see right here.
Cable is a good word. It's just a bunch of wires. Anyway, I love the sewer tunnel. Byrne and Austin, they just draw the shit out of it. It looks so good. They're way more high tech than it needed to be, but it is
a very high tech sewer.
And I just like the simple color choices too, right? Let's just keep the water not looking clean, give it that a little bit of a murky, green and blue, and then we're not going to make it all gray, and not make it all dark. We have to give this a little bit of light. Mm-hmm. So I think those color choices are really, really great. And then giving the characters like those illuminated versions, like they're not as saturated as usual. Like that magenta for Nightcrawler is, I don't know, 25, 50%. It's not the full on, it looks great.
Does look good.
Extended by mental command from the backs of Wolverine's hands, adamantium claws flash in the light of his lantern.
Wolverine, what?
Relax, Elf. All I did was strip the insulation off these power lines. When the water hits them, they'll short out, probably blow every light in the club. If something goes wrong tonight, a surprise blackout could come in handy.
Oh, very nice, my friend. Very sneaky.
I do my best, bub.
Nightcrawler to Cyclops. We're in position and ready to make our move. Over.
So, is he like touching his throat or something? Like to make that.
Yeah, almost like maybe they just kind of got it wrong, and it's more towards his ear. You know?
Sure. I wonder. I don't mind them having touch parts of their costume that signal each other. Like I'm totally okay with their costume having mechanisms built into it, even though they're drawn like they're painted on for the most part. I have no trouble with that. But I thought it was a strange, like he's not even holding anything. But it's cool. I also love that Wolverine makes some decisions on his own.
Yep.
Like this guy, it's not part of the plan. He's like he doesn't.
This is like the secret agent background, though.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like this is the he's setting things up because he's giving himself options as he moves forward.
Right. And we see this trope used by, or this technique used by like spies all the time when they're about to go into a room that they don't know the way out of. They give themselves like, a man-made exit of some kind, or just a wild card, which was awesome. Great choice. And like, we haven't seen Wolverine get to do this before. So like the character is they're just, again, revealing one more layer of him that elevates his value each time. And in a limousine parked just around the corner, Roger Nightcrawler, thanks to Angel, we 4 have invitations to this bash under false names. The White Queen's allies, whoever they are, should have no idea we're coming. Professor, if you haven't heard from us by midnight, we've run into trouble.
Scott, I do not like the idea of you and the X-Men blithely walking into a potential death trap.
Neither do I, really, but I can't see any alternative. We have no hard evidence connecting the White Queen's outfit with this Hellfire Club, other than the name, and we can't afford to make another mistake, can't afford to make a mistake. We need proof, one way or the other. If they do turn out to be the same gang, and if they're ready for us, at least you'll be safe in New Mexico. You and Angel will be free and able to deal with them. Wish us luck, Professor. Cyclops out. No chance for rebuttal.
No. You don't approve of Scott's plan, Professor. It's not that. I'm still unable to reestablish my psychic rapport with the X-Men. They're going into action, and I won't be able to help or guide them. By heaven, Angel, I won't even know what's happening until it's too late.
And this has been a good subplot that's been running through, is the separation of the team from Xavier. Like whether it was by great distance or now it's like emotionally Scott is pushing back against him for control over the team. And it adds a good level of tension. Like they're kind of on their own, even though he's back. At that moment, inside the foyer of the Hellfire Club.
I have never worn clothes as fine as this. They feel marvelous. Yet it does not feel right to wear a suit that costs more than my father earns in an entire year. It has been too long since I've been home. I miss it more and more each day.
Senses fully alert for the slightest. Ooh, look at those action figures.
A back one?
Yeah, you sure for a second. Are they actually action figures or there's something else?
Yeah, movable figures. Star Trek and the Black Hole.
I love the Black Hole toys when I finally was able to see them, but they don't really hold up. The Star Trek ones are, they're all classic. I actually have Deckard. I still have that one, number 5. They don't look anything like that. But anyway, those ones might be the bigger ones. But they're anyway. Senses fully alert for the slightest hint of danger. Colossus and Storm move into the club's main hall. I imagine Colossus cannot walk into a room, and neither can Storm, without every head turning.
Yeah, exactly. Aurora, even I have heard of some of the people here. Some of them are my countrymen. How could such as they plot the destruction of the X-Men?
That's what we're here to find out, Peter. We're both bait and trap. Lucky us. I would love it if they name dropped some of the people that were there. It would be kind of fun and very dated. But it would still be kind of funny for us today. I wonder. Oh, I'm looking at that guy.
Oh yeah, in the foreground there.
Yeah, it looks like in your copy, like he's wearing a Jewish kippah, like he's wearing a yarmulke, but it's not that at all. I can see in the inked, in the black and white here, just the shadow and the shine on his hair, and the details are there. Maybe it was going to be Hef, I don't know, but it's not. Outside, the final two X-Men make their entrance, Jean using her telepathic power to keep Scott in constant touch with his teammates. Aurora and Peter are inside, Scott. They say all is well. I wonder how long that will last. Not long at all, actually, for in a hidden sub-basement below the club...
Shaw, Olvie, the monitor screen. Look who's here.
His name is Pierce. So to you, he's
Jason Statham.
He's Jason Statham. Okay, very
well,
nice.
Shaw, isn't that a name from Hobbs and Shaw? From the
Okay, but this is Pierce.
True, good call. But yes, he's Jason Statham.
It's Jason Statham. Okay. Do you want me to tell you who he was conceived to look like or sound like, or no?
Please tell me.
Donald Sutherland.
Oh, well,
He's Donald Pierce.
Definitely can't do Donald Sutherland.
So you keep doing Statham. That's totally
Perfect.
cool. And that will also, I think, pay dividends as he becomes the leader of the Reavers down the road. His name is Pierce. His companions are Shaw, Leland, and Wingard. Together they form the nucleus of the Hellfire Club's inner circle, a secret society dedicated to the acquisition of power in all its myriad forms. I forget. Did you do Shaw before?
No, you did Shaw. No, you're Shaw.
Okay. I'm not going to do Robert Shaw because that his maritime boat voice is anyway.
Nice.
I'm just going to go evil.
Just go evil.
Which sounds like Wolverine. Okay.
Okay.
What a pleasant surprise. Jean Grey and Scott Summers, Phoenix and Cyclops of the X-Men. Pierce, search the club. If they're here, the other X-Men can't be far away. Wingard, for weeks now, you've been boasting that Miss Grey is yours, body and soul. Tonight is your chance to prove it. She can lead our attack on the X-Men. For your sake, I hope she succeeds.
Jean's also wearing another sexy dress. Like cut out in the front there.
There you go.
Too sexy.
Trevor's reminding us it's because he was Hawkeye Pierce, right?
Of course.
Donald Sutherland,
right.
Max with Hawkeye Pierce, he is.
There you go. Pierce. Fun fact 4.
There you go. Meanwhile, in the main floor ballroom, do you want to read Jean?
Sure. I've mind scanned everyone in the room. They're all perfectly normal.
It's early yet. By the way, I like your dress.
I thought you would. Pardon me, Sarah. May I cut in?
Before either X-Men can protest, Jason Wingard gathers Jean in his arms and sweeps her away. And as he does, he reaches into Jean's mind and once more turns the clock back 200 years. So far as Jean is now concerned, she is Lady Jean Grey, and she is dancing with a man she loves more than life itself. What the? Her husband. That's Jason Wingard. This is a lot like what happened the night Jean and I first met Dazzler, who dazzles. We moved in, said hello, and the next instant, he and Jean were kissing like long-lost lovers. Now, one look at him, and it's as if I don't exist anymore.
I really should just blast him right now.
Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of his stuff. We all know, we can all see what he's thinking. But I will say, I watched someone else's video breaking down a couple of these issues.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy took it so literally. He thought that Jason Wingard had time travel powers.
Oh,
and
that's different.
Kept bringing Jean back in time in the body of her ancestor. I'm like, dude, it's an illusion. It's an illusion.
That is that's a take.
No, it's not. It's a misread.
Misread.
Uh-oh. Wingard's taking Jean upstairs. Jean! Wait up! Jean! She's ignoring me. What kind of hold does Wingard have over her?
How charming. The stalwart hero out to rescue his damsel fair. Not this time, Cyclops.
What? That face! Mastermind! The night the X-Men met Dazzler, who dazzles, Scott Shaw, Jason Wingard, momentarily silhouetted in the headlights of the X-Men's Rolls Royce, throwing a shadow on the wall behind him that didn't match his face. Scott should have recognized the master of illusion, but he was in a hurry, with far more immediate worries on his mind, and so he made a mistake. I better get to Jean fast. If she's under Mastermind's influence... Too late, Cyclops. I mean,
Magnificent, my love. But the Hellfire Club wants the X-Men alive. Is Cyclops?
Worry not, Jason. Well, I should have taken that out today and put that on the post.
Nice.
Worry not, Jason. Had the Black Queen struck to kill, there would be nothing left of the lad but ashes.
Oof.
Look at him burning there on the floor.
Yeah, that dude's burned.
He got splowed hard.
He did get splowed hard.
Man.
Going upstairs and got splowed hard.
He really did. So do you know who Mastermind is, by the way?
So he's an early X-Men villain, right?
Yeah, he's from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Right, okay.
So he would have been on a team with Toad, Vision,
Right.
Not Vision, with Toad, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, all under Magneto, or Magneto, as he's called on this show.
Magneto.
Yes.
And
So
now he's obviously reincarnated. He's just back in a different form.
Well, he's been playing everybody.
Been playing everybody, yeah.
Nobody has seen that it was Mastermind this whole time. Everyone just sees Wingard.
Yeah.
So he's just, the con is on, and he's very powerful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew, sexy jean dress too. Okay, here we go. Aurora, did you hear that sound? And was that a man's scream as well? It is so hard to be sure of the noise of this party.
I am sure, Peter. My hearing is almost as sharp as Wolverine's.
Oh.
It was a man's scream, Cyclops' scream. I also heard a splow, and that sound was one of Phoenix' energy blasts. Upstairs, Colossus. Quickly, our friends must be in danger.
Good heavens.
Yeah, and the poor server there also.
Is she dressed as like a nun?
No, that's her hair. It just isn't translated.
Okay,
clearly.
like a habit almost, you know? Like
Right. It's printing it in a blotchy way, but many strands have been actually drawn by Austin. She's wearing like a French maid outfit.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Our trap has sprung. Goddess, grant that our powers are sufficient to deal with whatever we've snared. Greetings, X-Men. I am Sebastian Shaw. I advise you to surrender, or you will be hurt.
By whom, little shirtless man? By you? Do not make me laugh. I must take care to hit him lightly. I only wish to knock him unconscious. But with my strength and armored form, I could easily kill. Lennon's ghost. My blow had no effect.
Krakow. There we get that effect again, right?
Grachow.
Yeah, Grachow. That would be awesome. Wrong, my tin-plated comrade. If anything, your punch has made me stronger than ever. I love how he just rolls that punch, just like whoop,
Yeah.
to the side, and then the double hammer.
Yeah, that's a solid move right there.
Yeah.
I do not understand. Had ringing never been hit so hard.
Fool. I am as much a mutant as you, and my superpower is one you can never defeat.
I can try.
This time, Colossus does not hold back. His kick would have smashed a tank. Unfortunately, Peter.
No, Shaw is unharmed, faster and stronger than.
Whammo.
Whammo.
Half your team is beaten, Storm, and the battle has barely begun. Yield, and I will be merciful.
Never!
It's your funeral, then.
Can't let Shaw get a hold of me. I'll use my elemental powers to create a pea soup fog, which I did 5 issues ago with Scotland against Proteus, around him. That should hide me. I don't want to leave Peter, but I have to find a way to warn Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Professor X. And Peter's armored body is too heavy to carry. Forgive me, little brother.
Elsewhere,
The in mein Freund. So far, so good.
Yeah, this caper's going down easy. Too easy. I've been feeling antsy all evening. Any more news from Psych or Genie?
Nein, like you, I'm beginning to get worried. Could be nothing, though, as the old saying goes. No news is good news.
Good.
Grip like steel vice. Can't breathe, and some sort of electrical field shooting through my body. Can't concentrate enough to teleport to safety. In your case, Goblin, your lack of news could have fatal consequences.
That's the truth, Skinny. Fatal for you. Huh? Your arm. Wires.
Curse you, what you done?
Cripes. You're a flaming robot.
Not quite, Wolverine. Donald Pierce is a cyborg. Cybernetic organism, part man, part machine. A living being with the power of a juggernaut.
Yeah, I know all about cyborgs. I almost became one myself. You may be a $6 million man, bub. When I'm done with you, $6 billion won't be enough to put you back together again.
So I just want to pause here for a minute.
Yeah.
Right. So what this is just nonstop action. This is kick ass. This is so much fun. He does not know this is where this is like the real change in Wolverine, I think, this panel. He does not at all know that Pierce is a cyborg, and he goes to slice his arm completely off.
Yeah.
It's not even he doesn't even hesitate to slice his arm off.
Yes.
And this is a change, though, and I know it's a cyborg, so he can do it, right?
Sure.
But I mean, he's not holding back. And
no.
Wow, I could have just been a dude who he sliced his arm off.
Yeah, this could have played out very differently if Pierce had not been a cyborg. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Hey, Bearded Bills has joined us.
Yeah, hey man, how you doing?
Terry Young, thank you very much, Trevor.
I'm afraid I can't allow that, dear boy. You're free to try and stop me, Tubby, at your own risk. The name is Leland, Harry Leland. And your challenge is accepted, dear boy. Stop you I shall. What? I'm getting heavier. Can't move. Can barely stand. What's Fatso doing to me?
Jeez.
Yeah, he's direct. Dear boy, you X-Men are not the only mutants in the world skilled in the use of their special, unique abilities. My own involves mass. Simply by concentrating, I can increase the mass of objects and people around me.
Must weigh tons. And he's making me heavier all the time. Strain. Killing me. I can't. I won't. Give up. I poop my pants.
In the end, however, it's Wolverine. It's not Wolverine that yields. My goodness. But the floor beneath him. I should say floors. I love cross-section drawings, by the way.
That's cool.
I would be too scared to try something like this. But ever since, I guess, reading Richard Scarry books as a kid, I love some cross-sections.
Of course.
So, yeah, Wolverine's gone, like just out of the building. Holy cow.
Yeah.
He drops like a runaway rocket into a storm sewer buried deep beneath the club, and the impact, when he finally hits the water, is more akin to slamming full tilt into a steel wall.
Oof.
It leaves him stunned, barely conscious. In the blink of an eye, he's swept away. Write him off. He's done.
He's done.
Gone. Out of the series. Love it. Love it.
I can't raise Nightcrawler or Wolverine on my radio comlink. Have they been attacked too? Am I the only X-Man left? The Hellfire Club beat us so quickly, so easily. In the goddess' name, how? How? I tried blasting through these windows with my lightning bolts. They had no effect. Some defensive system neutralized their power. Only one route left, downstairs and out the front door, using the party guests to cover my escape. Oh!
Surprise. I know every inch of this house, Storm. There's no way you can elude me for very long.
Surprise. ankle. If Shaw tightens his grip, he'll crush it. These villains seem to know all about the X-Men. Shaw will assume I'll fight him with my elemental powers. Instead, I'll do something unexpected. If I can break free only for a moment. Crap.
Ow!
Oof. Done it. No. Shaw grabbed my cape. I've never seen anyone move so fast.
I like a woman with spirit, Storm, but not too much spirit. You should have learned from Colossus's defeat. I absorb kinetic energy. The harder anyone strikes me, the more powerful I get. I told you before that if you yielded to me, I would be merciful, but you resisted. Now pay the price.
Oof. Wow.
Like he's bending her arm back there, and he
Yeah.
punches her in the back of the head.
Yeah, that's
Vicious.
vicious.
Yeah, I want this guy dead. I don't like him. I don't
No.
want to read anymore. He's scaring me.
No. He's taking over. He's consuming you.
I don't like that guy. We've done well tonight. We've trounced the X-Men, true, with no loss to ourselves, and none of the club guests are the wiser. It's been a long time since I exercised my mutant ability. I'd forgotten how good it felt. What a jerk. Perhaps the Hellfire Club should set its sights higher. Today, the X-Men. Tomorrow, the Avengers. I wonder, dare I match my power against that of Iron Man or Thor?
Yes, please.
How's your arm, Pierce?
Oh, it's just a scratch, Shaw. Easily repaired. I'm fine now. Scratch? Huh. Wolverine cut through your precious bionic arm like it was made of butter.
Jason, we've just won a splendid victory. Why spoil it with such harsh words? The Black Queen speaks true, Wingard. Be of good cheer, or be silent. This could be trouble. Wingard is deliberately provoking Pierce, but he's really challenging me. Wingard is as much a natural leader as I. Sooner or later, he'll make his bid to take over the inner circle. Positive that so long as he controls Phoenix, our Black Queen, none of us will oppose him. Ours was a group effort, Wingard, a group victory. We all did our part.
Of course, Shaw. But just remember that it was my psychic seduction on Jean Grey that provided the key to our victory.
We could have won without her.
Is that so? Very well then. Pierce, I'll simply release my hold on her. See how long you last.
Pierce, Wingard, that's enough. That's enough, both of you. As chairman of the Inner Circle, I, Sebastian Shaw, propose a toast to the Hellfire Club and our Black Queen. Long may she reign. As for our captured mutants, by the time we finish with them, the X-Men may well wish they'd perished with Wolverine. And then you see the hand come out of the sewer.
Yep.
And this is the moment that I've been waiting for my entire life, right? And he's mouth full of water, so we should say it while we do this with our lips. Okay, suckers, you've taken your best shot. Now it's my turn.
Oof.
Next issue, Wolverine. Alone. Enough said.
Enough said.
Quite an issue.
Whew.
Lots of fun, lots of good interactions, lots of new villains. It's so
Yeah.
much fun to pair off characters with their opponents.
Yeah.
You know, mix it all up. See them getting beaten whole-handedly, like just, getting their butts
Sure.
kicked. Everyone that I've ever met that ever talked about this issue talks about this last page and that last panel
Okay.
and what the panel meant to them, to see it for the first time or to, come across it, to hear about it and then finally get a chance to read it, and it's been redrawn, homaged by many, many an artist. And I think that every artist wishes that every issue had something like this, because we've seen Wolverine take this pose, whether it's in or out of water, just a bajillion times. Like the idea that the team is down and out and Wolverine's the last guy.
Yeah.
Like this is where it comes from. You know, this is the moment that he goes from being a character that Len Wein brings into the book, and Cockrum and Len Wein, and then eventually Claremont and Cockrum have as an antagonist for Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
It's as a foil for the other characters, and you know, it's really about Storm and Nightcrawler and Colossus and Cyclops and a little bit of Banshee. And Wolverine's just like, you know, this pain in the butt of the side. And you know, bit by bit, Byrne and his influence bring him to the forefront a little more, and more to the middle, and more to the middle. We start seeing Cyclops defer to him a couple times in totally acceptable ways when it's like the right moment. He like allows Wolverine to step forward. You know, we get the emotional depth of Wolverine's suffering through that battle with Proteus. So we just get more invested in this character. And then the series gives us this, which is like everyone is dead unless this one guy can figure out what to do. And he is out for blood, and he's going to kill all of them. And I really think that everything that comes after this would not have happened if we don't believe in Wolverine from this moment. Like if the reader doesn't get on board, if the creators don't believe in this character, like that he can kind of carry this weight, I don't think we get the movies. I don't think we get Wolverine as the center of the animated series, like the breakout character. I don't think he gets to become Marvel's, you know, one of the top characters at Marvel in the 80s and 90s, unless this moment happens. You know, I think it all comes back to the moment that every reader goes like, oh my God, he is the baddest of badasses. You know, this predates Punisher as being a big seller. Punisher doesn't have his own title yet. Marvel hasn't gone dark with superheroes yet.
Well,
DC hasn't gone dark with superheroes yet.
Right.
Like this guy's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
In this moment, he's like, it's a revenge game now. I'm going to rescue my friends and kill everybody. And it just changes the tone of, like, he's not in bright yellow and blue in the sunshine. He's in dirty, torn clothes in the sewer. You know what I mean?
I wonder, yeah, and I wonder too, like, you know, we've hypothesized about, talked about the stories that how the X-Men will be introduced in the MCU, what we'll get and what it'll look like. And that was, how great would it be to see a HELLFIRE Club story? Not a Dark Phoenix story, but a HELLFIRE Club story. Right? Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, and this is part of it. You know, it's X-Men are bested by HELLFIRE Club, and you know, Wolverine has to go in, right?
Right.
I think we got a taste of it in X2 when they infiltrate and attack the school, and he suddenly takes out all the soldiers.
Right.
Which is great because he's like sneaking around corners and stuff.
Sure.
That was if you remember, I certainly, when I watched X2 in the theaters, when that first scene, he's I think drinking milk or something, and there's like a couple of stealth agents come in, and he puts a guy up against a fridge and digs his claws into him. Guy's dead. And we're like, oh, this movie, Wolverine's going to kill people. Because he doesn't do that in X-Men. Right. He fights Sabretooth and he fights other mutants, but he doesn't kill people. He doesn't kill bad guys or goons. And then within the first 10 minutes when they invade that school, he kills, and you're like, oh, this is a completely different movie. This is, right? And then he goes one by one going through, and eventually he gets stopped, but he takes out a whole bunch of guys.
Right.
And,
I mean,
anyway.
in that one, just to draw a difference, but it's not a meaningful one, a minor difference. He's on his back foot,
right?
On that, right? His home is invaded, and he has to on his feet think quick and put himself on his front foot. And he does a great job up until, like, you know, the ice wall, the one where he comes across Stryker. Thank you. So he changes the tone of the attack really quickly. And I remember being in the theater too, and it's hard for me to look at it objectively because I was filled with glee.
Yeah,
in that moment when I saw, you know, Wolverine again go to his front foot and take those guys out systematically. It was
like
awesome.
a secret agent, right? Like
yes, and a predator.
Right. Yeah.
And in this one, like the feeling that he's gonna either go in with rage or he's gonna go in like a secret agent, stealth ninja, kill them all. Like I can't wait to see what he does next. It's everything I wanted. Like I fell in love with the character the first time I saw him pop his claws on the cartoon, but it never had a dark edge. He always just was a character in a happy setting or a dangerous but bright setting, and he had a dark side. Now it's a character with a dark side in a dark setting.
Oh yeah.
And it just changes the tone of the stakes feel greater.
Yeah.
They feel personal and primal. And I feel like we're gonna is the phrase pull the taffy? Like Wolverine's scenes.
Is that in reference to the 20-minute workout? But
I just this idea that when Wolverine has his moments in the series leading up to this, right? From 94, okay, giant size and 94 through 131. Okay, all these issues. Wolverine has had moments, but it feels like the next issue is gonna be Wolverine's issue. Also, Wolverine Alone is the title of it. It feels like we're gonna get to like those cool moments we've had, a snippet of here or there. You know, him flying after Sauron and taking, or like tearing his claws into, a pterodactyl, or taking a serious major swing at Magneto, or tearing into a droid here or there, or whatever, like a guy in an armored suit, or pierce his arm. Like those are just moments. It feels like we're about to get 17 pages of him going bonkers next issue.
Yeah, and
as a kid, I'm frothing at the mouth for that.
Well, sure. I think, again, having not read the next issue and not, I knew of this, but not really the specifics. I'm super excited to read. They set it up like you get to this page, and after the issue you just read, and my God, that next issue can't come soon enough.
That's right. Sure, you can hear that. It might be my Amazon package arrived. Oh. Maybe we'll see. But I'll let someone else in the house deal with that. As a kid who played, and I'm hoping you can still hear me over the dog barking.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
He's rooms and rooms away. Oh my God. As a kid who played action figure adventures all the time, this became, whether I was already doing it or not, I don't know. But it's like my favorite team trope is characters match up against opponents, get taken apart.
Yeah.
One character is counted out, and the reader forgets about the character for a page or two, and then it's revealed as like the middle turn. It's like, oh no, so and so they're not dead. They're coming back, and they're coming back to turn the tables. And the next time we fight, we're going to switch who all the partners are.
Yeah.
So I love that idea that we forgot that this person's involved. And just like a little side version of it, or like a variation on this, is Luke doing the trench run.
Right.
And it's each of the fighters is getting picked off by Darth Vader. And at the last second, out of the glare of the sun, comes the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
And in that, I mean, the big difference for me there is we didn't think the Millennium Falcon was broken. We thought he just turned tail and left.
Yeah. We were convinced.
Yeah, it would have been so cool if, I mean, not like we have to change, arguably a perfect movie of its time. But the idea that like I don't know if audiences thought he was going to come back or not, but it was this just great moment where your buddy comes back and everything's going to be okay and you've got your support. It was so cool. But I love this one that Wolverine, like, oh my God, everyone's on a pile. Wolverine's going to kill someone. He's going to kill.
Right. The juxtaposition between the front cover art and this last panel. Right? Oh yeah. Like, everybody is down for the count, and then you have this guy, and he's in the sewers, like he's just swimming in shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he nearly got killed. It's just so cool. I think also every image artist, this was like their mainstream badass inspiration.
Nice.
Before Miller is doing it in Daredevil, and of course eventually like Dark Knight, like just it feels like a superhero badass moment, like the first one. I don't know if there is another one that comes before this, but it feels like this is the heaviest one that's been to date. And it really is like there are Wolverine moments just like this forever after this.
Right.
It feels like there needs to be like it's now a mandatory part of every X-Men story is like you got to have Wolverine having a moment like this. And and yeah, just super cool and iconic. And everyone wanted to replicate this forever. And I just want to think about it all the time. And I can't wait. I want to read the next issue right now. In the chat, you guys, I'm really glad you're here. Out of curiosity, do you have another Wolverine moment that you think is similar to this in its spirit that is one of your favorites? Whether it was in the movie, like when, they're in the kitchen and those they're not SWAT troopers, but they're like special forces come in.
Special forces guys.
Under Stryker's command, and Wolverine, the guy goes after Bobby, and Wolverine comes and puts his claws through him into the refrigerator. Do you have other moments like that where it's where Wolverine turns the tables and he's not playing anymore? That it is like your favorite moment, whether it's cartoon, movies, comics, or even in your own imagination? I wonder if there are other great ones. I liked a lot of the ones in. You've read, Chris. You've read Enemy of the State.
Yes.
Have you read it recently, like in the last 5 years, or was it?
No, I haven't.
So that
it's one I own actually, the hardcover.
Oh, really? Mark Miller.
Yep.
And John Romita Jr.
Yep.
And is it Klaus Janson on inks? I think it is. That one has lots of moments where he's just. There's one where you're on the wrong side of it, where you think Wolverine is, a hospital patient and unconscious, and there's an explosion on the Shield helicarrier, and Elektra's there, and like all of a sudden the body is gone, and he's hunting Shield agents.
Yeah,
and like, that one's good and terrifying. I like that one.
I did enjoy the. There's a what if issue that comes out. I don't know if it was an issue or a short or a backup story, but as part of that Enemy of the State. And it's what if they never turned him off? What if he was always right? What if? And it's pretty brutal in the sense that he goes through the MCU. He goes through the MCU and just goes through them. Nothing, and it takes. I think Kitty Pryde stops him at the end. But that's it. It takes her.
Right.
But in the meantime, he's killed Spider-Man. He's killed Moon Knight. He's killed Miss, the Invisible Woman. He's killed. It's wow.
Did you ever read Meltdown?
No. What's that?
I think it's Walt and Louise, or it's at least I think Walt Simonson on writing, and two painters. Of course, their names are just going to escape me because I don't have it. I don't have it in my mind. I've read them in a long time. Late 80s, fully painted comics. It's a Wolverine Havoc tale, and they look like nothing else you've ever seen from the X-Men. They were like prestige format, 4 issues, I think, maybe 3. And Wolverine is often drawn in just wearing like a tank top, and his hair is a version of him that it's like the pieces are really, really long and then down, like huge and exaggerated. He's like red nosed and paunchy. It's very different.
Yeah.
Unique stuff. Yeah, very cool. Going against Silver Samurai in 173. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I've actually never read that. I'm missing that block, that sort of Paul Smith section, and I'm waiting to get there as we get there. So
we'll get there
for sure. I'm looking forward to that. And that series comes right after the Wolverine Limited series. So
okay,
thematically connected.
Interesting.
And that's probably when we will have to
maybe jump to the
yeah. David Cutler says, I'm assuming you mean my brain. My brain only has storage space for badass Cyclops moments. And that means you have no storage space. There are a couple, but not like this, right? Not like this. He would be a way better character, I think, if we were able to. I don't know if anyone would believe that Cyclops is badass in this way. But then again, the character has gone in totally different places in the last 15 years that I have not followed because I just haven't read it yet, but I will get there. But David, you and Jason are so up on all the modern X-Men stuff. It is thoroughly impressive. Yes, there are not many under Claremont, for sure. They'll come post 91. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe it. And we'll get there. By 91, you mean the year, I'm assuming. And post 91, I was doing other things. So we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Any cool mail in this one? Or is there a letter from Chris Claremont?
Dear editor, Jason Wingard is really mastermind, right?
Nice.
And that's one. And then Dear Crew, yeah, no. Brian Kane and Breen Allen.
All right, then I'll tell you a little bit about the classic X-Men here.
Brian M. Kane.
There is a backup story. Kyle Baker art, which is always really interesting and well thought out and cool looking. It's a story about Dazzler in an elevator and an elevator attendant who uses his size and proximity to intimidate people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all kind of like her inner thoughts about, is she about to get attacked? What's happening? And it's really creepy. By the end of it, he handcuffs her to a pipe in the parking lot to scare her, and she of course uses her powers to defend herself and go on the offensive. And he says, yeah, like he likes to make people scared and then film them. He's like a filmmaker and wants to film himself scaring people, wants to film their reactions. It's like what he gets off on, but they don't make it sexual, but it totally is, of course. It's a power thing. And she uses her power against him to make him scared, and eventually he begs her to stop, and she does. So it really feels like a very personal story.
Is that Ann Nesenti?
It is. It is. It's like a very gritty, like New York elevator.
Feels very much in line with what she will come to write in her Daredevil run.
Yeah. And actually, the timing is probably, I mean, it's 89, right?
Oh, then yeah. Yeah.
It is really out of line with X-Men stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a story I guess she wanted to write, and I bet you there could have been a really neat version with all the different female characters. Like there could have been a cool, with Kitty Pryde being uncomfortable and her deciding like, do I show my powers now? Like when do I reveal that I'm, because Dazzler's constantly doubting. Like she's doubting, is this guy just big and awkward, or am I actually under threat? Right. And it's this thought, like she doesn't know when to go on the offensive until it's, luckily it's never too late. She's able to get the upper hand, but it was a pretty creepy one. Yeah. David says he's a master of fine arts, and they authored some of Prince Valiant. We're talking about Brian M. Kane.
That's one of the letter writers from the book.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, X-Men. I watched that Chris Claremont documentary. That David suggested. Was it just David, or did other people suggest it?
No, it was somebody else. I know David echoed it, but
right. Okay. So, guys, I took your advice. I watched this
Dragon Eyes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe anyway.
It was not on Prime here in Canada, but it was on like Tubi or one of the free ones that we get with our Rogers subscription. And it was interesting. Like I really loved seeing, a lot of it is footage of Claremont with Ann Nesenti and Weezy Simonson like on a couch talking, reflecting back on those years, and like the juggling act that, like the guys were saying, that Louise Simonson played as the editor once Salacrup leaves. She stays on with Claremont for a long time, and eventually when the first X-Men book like goes up for grabs, for someone else to write, she jumps on that. And it's no surprise, like the Mutant Massacre, when it comes, that like it goes through X Factor, I think, X-Men, New Mutants, and Thor, which is like where her husband's writing.
Daredevil.
So that might have been Fall of the Mutants.
No, I think there's a couple. There's at least one issue I believe is Mutant Massacre as part of an Ascenti run. Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. So it's neat how like it stays together.
Yeah.
They keep it in house. And they talk just about like the enthusiasm in the room and bouncing ideas off each other. And boy, oh boy, the documentary just gives credit to Claremont. It's Claremont's X-Men is like the name of the documentary. As if like he is this mastermind writer that had this massive vision, which I imagine there were moments where he did have a wide scope. But to think that like the success of the book is not shared with the other like they don't mention Byrne much. They like, yeah. After reading them like this in depth as we have, like you see what Len Wein brings and what Cockrum brings. Hey, be quiet, please. I know you like Claremont better, but that's enough. You can see by the contrast of the books, like when Cockrum is there, certain things work and certain things are just meh.
Yeah.
When Byrne's there, like, oh, this is clicking in this way, and we're gonna see when he leaves. We're gonna see, sadly, in a number of weeks when Byrne is off the book, what still works and what doesn't. And what each artist brings is like really, really neat. I don't want to tell you when he leaves. I don't want to tell you who comes next.
I'm going to find out for myself.
You're going to find out. We'll see. Anyway, I just thought that they downplay the artist side, which writer-focused conversations always do, and vice versa. Versa. So it's a neat watch for sure. Yeah, Claremont's X-Men.
Trevor's ass is going to get in touch with Claremont for us.
Listen, if the show's already too long now, that guy, every interview with him is like 2 hours at least. I love it. Yeah, he seems to be really happy to talk to all sorts of people, which is pretty cool. I would love to have the chance to talk to the guy. I mean, why not? He wrote some of my favorite comics ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or co-wrote. But I do think tell him not to watch the previous. Listen, I love him. I also just will call it as I see it, which is okay. And he's entitled to as well, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. I think that's fine. I would hope he wouldn't be offended by it. I'm hoping you guys don't abandon the show in the space between Byrne and Paul Smith. We're not going to abandon the show. Man, we got 6 people in the chat. This is like a huge success.
It's a big deal.
By every measure. We're about to hit 1,000 and get monetized.
We're up to 110. Okay? Every week it grows.
Exactly. No, it's David says it's a lull period. David, you're spoiling it for poor Chris here, man. It's maybe like a time for a reset. Also,
does Banshee come back?
Banshee will eventually come back, but not then. It's also right after the Days of Future Past. Like, not right after. It's shortly after Days of Future Past. So it really is like a lot to take in. And then how can you compete with a Dark Phoenix Saga going into Days of Future Past and Wendigo?
That's right, Wendigo and Nightcrawler.
Yeah, so it's hard to keep up with that stuff. If you were to do movies, again, X-Men joined the MCU. Everyone's waiting for Jean Grey to go bad eventually. You don't rush it. You make it a bigger thing. You put the Hellfire Club first, yeah? You let it run its course. You play this out. Right? I mean, you update what you need to update. Wouldn't you also like make the Hellfire Club its own thing?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I mean, what a great group of antagonists for a movie.
Yeah.
Right? Powered up mutants, but also this other agenda, and Yeah. It's the kind of thing that like Stark would be a member of the Hellfire Club. Right? Like
he probably is.
That kind of, well, I guess, R.I.P.
He's got his membership.
Like all those things, right? In the MCU.
Yeah. That's true. I think it'd be interesting. And they're not that far off from it. I hope we get to hear some announcements in the next year that we're getting some X-Men in the movies. Or
they've spent their time, especially if they're mutants and they're introducing the concept of mutants, right? Like, they've bided their time. They've profited from the New York invasion. They've profited from, right?
Right. It's just another secret society, like another. They've really been using that a lot.
But if they do the mutant thing, then that is something they haven't encountered yet, right?
Right. But like people, a group wielding power in the that no one's taken notice of. It's like the 10 Rings and Hydra, and
they're just a bunch of wealthy New York industrialists.
Yeah, and that's basically what it comes down to. Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, I think we're okay. Quippy with badasses.
No more quippy people. I don't need quippy.
We need quippy kids. That's what we need.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's cool. I got lots to do, so I'm happy to call it a night. It's been good to hang with everybody. What do we need to say here? Thank you to all of you in the chat for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it. You guys are the best, and we talk about all of you in the nicest ways when we're not here with you and you're not here with us, and we really do appreciate you coming back each week to follow along with the Dark Phoenix Saga and to follow along with us as we figure out how to do this. So it's been a real pleasure as always. You can find us at group7comics.ca. That's the number 7. You got some comics you can get there. We'll be at Fan Expo at the end of the month, which should be a blast. We'll be in Artist Alley. Mm-hmm. And Chris, thanks again for getting those parking passes. That's are you gonna be staying at your sister's place?
Yeah, I'll be there the whole time.
Amazing. So if you're in the Toronto area, come to Fan Expo. Come say hi to us at our table. We'd look forward to chatting X-Men or chatting other comics with you, or just life in general.
Yes, please.
Please click like on the videos.
Smash like.
Subscribe. And follow along with us on our journey through all these classic X-Men comics. And what else, Chris?
Quick shout out to, we have 2 new subscribers on the channel. 2 of my friends, because I was out with dinner with them and they were asking about it, and they just subscribed at the moment. David Ha, Ollie RL, thank you so much for your support. Very much appreciated.
Thank you. Tomorrow night, 9:00 on Toying Around, I will be doing a live stream. I'll be guesting on Kevin's live stream on Toying Around, playing Dope or Nope with the reveals of Hasbro's new figures that they'll show tomorrow on there. I think 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're going to show some figures on the Hasbro channel.
Cool.
And so we'll be reviewing their selection and talking about what we love and what we'll be able to pass on. But mostly,
what's in the Nope category? What's
the Dope category?
What's in the Nope? No, you're talking what's in the Nope category.
Yeah, but most of it's going to be dope because the way the figures look these days, they're just, the sculpts are better, the paints are amazing, and yeah, the price has increased, but like the quality's gone up.
I know. I might be doing some cross-border shopping sooner rather than later, so I'm hoping to. I know Kevin was saying that he found some great deals at the Target in New Jersey, so I might be heading not to New Jersey, but to Michigan. Right. So we'll see.
I have a list for you.
Send me the list, man.
I was trying to crack my knuckles, but nothing happened. There you go. All right, everyone, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again next week as we cover X-Men 133.
The worst of the X-Men issues.
No, not at all.
No, the exact opposite.
Next week. Oh, I should say next week, guys. Pardon me. Did I get the Mezco Wolverine? No, I did not. But I haven't leveled up to Mezco figures. The price point is very high, and I try to keep my prices. Oh, maybe he's talking to Jason Lowe. Pardon me. Not sure, but I didn't get it. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Next week, we're not going to be doing it live.
We got to find time.
We'll still come on Tuesday night at 9:00. Chris and I will be doing issue 133, but we're going to pre-record. I'm going to be unavailable. So we'll miss you guys. It won't be nearly as much fun. But still please watch the episode if you can, and feel free to comment in the comments as people do. And I promise I will read all the comments that you write, our loyal subscribers, our ex-friends. And so we'll see you again in 2 weeks. But please tune in next week for 133. Sorry, man. Life.
We'll figure something out. We'll maybe
there will be an episode.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, awesome. Good night. Cheers.
Nighty night.